This lesson will discuss how to work in a flow state. Working in a flow state is a key component to overall well-being and life satisfaction and is defined by Dr. Seligman as a state of deep engagement and immersion in an activity where we lose track of time and self-consciousness. And this concept is characterized by an intense focus on the present moment, clear goals and immediate feedback on what we're doing, a balance between the challenge that we're involved in and our skills, and a sense of control over the activity, and an intrinsically rewarding result from our activities. So, therefore, the critical and controllable characteristic of achieving a flow state is the actual passion for the effort. And passion is crucial because it aligns with the concept of engagement, where we're fully absorbed in the activity and we love it. This leads to a loss of self-consciousness or any sense of time constraints. And this state not only enhances our performance, but it also contributes to our sense of well-being and purpose and meaningfulness. So clarity of meaningful work is also essential as it involves using our strengths in service to something larger than ourselves. And this clarity provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment, which is a key component of a meaningful life. And when we understand how our personal work contributes to a greater good, then we experience higher levels of satisfaction and motivation, and we're willing to stick with it and work harder at it. This deep motivation that we're after, as it allows us to develop our skills sufficiently in order to get to a high enough level that we're able to contribute our talents into skills and then into meaningful or at least noteworthy achievements. In order to work in a flow state, we must continually develop our strengths and our skills. And this development of our strengths and skills is closely tied to achieving a flow state for several reasons. First, it allows us and helps us to balance the challenge to our skill level. So flow occurs when there's a perfect balance between the challenge that we're facing and the skill level that we have. If a task is too easy, we're likely to get bored and not give full effort. If it's too hard, we may feel anxiety and be afraid or disengage with the activity. Developing our strength and skills ensures that we can handle increasingly challenging tasks, which of course is essential to entering and maintaining a flow state. Secondly, this skill enhancement ensures that we have enhanced focus and concentration. So strength and skill development often require intense focus and practice and grit and resilience. This kind of dedicated practice helps us train our brain to concentrate deeply. And this is, of course, a key component to achieving flow. So when we're in flow, we're fully immersed and very focused on the task at hand. Next, it allows for immediate feedback. In activities that involve strength and skills, such as like sports or playing a musical instrument, we often receive immediate feedback. We can hear it, we can see it, and we know how we're performing. And this feedback helps us to adjust and improve in real time, and this keeps us engaged and focused, and this helps facilitate that flow state. Next, it gives us mastery and confidence. As we develop our skills and our strengths, we gain confidence in our abilities. And this confidence reduces our anxiety, increases our enjoyment, and this allows us to basically reach that flow state easier and with more confidence. And then finally, it allows us to enjoy the task, and it gives us intrinsic motivation. So strength and skill development allows us to make activities more enjoyable because we're actually able to perform them well, and we have some ease in performing them with excellence. And this enjoyment and intrinsic motivation ends up being key drivers for allowing us to enter into a flow state. And this allows the activity or the task itself to actually be rewarding and something we look forward to. A powerful visualization tool for achieving a flow state is the WOOP technique. This was developed by Ottingen and Gallwitzer. The WOOP stands for Wish, Outcome, Obstacle, and Plan, and offers a clear, structured approach to navigating the tasks from start to finish or out the door. So let's break these down real quick. First, the W stands for wish. And again, this is where we identify a specific or a goal that's meaningful to us that we want to achieve. This is something that excites us and motivates us. Next, the O is outcome. This allows us to visualize the best possible outcome that we want to achieve with our goal. This picture of how we want to look and feel when we succeed allows us to have this positive visualization. This allows us to have an enhanced motivation and focus on what we're doing, since we understand better what we're trying to actually achieve. The next O is obstacle. So we need to recognize the potential obstacles that could hinder our progress. And by being aware of these challenges, we're able to better prepare for them and reduce the risk of being derailed by these obstacles. And then finally, the P stands for plan. Here, we create a concrete plan to overcome the obstacles that we're going to face. And this allows us to outline specific actions that we need to take in order to stay on track and to achieve the goals that we're trying to accomplish. Now, importantly, this technique is backed by empirical evidence. It's not just someone's good idea. And this is often mentioned by leading psychologists such as Dr. Seligman and Dr. Duckworth. And this demonstrates this particular technique's effectiveness in turning intentions into the all-important results. So achieving a flow state often involves deep engagement with the task, and deriving personal satisfaction from this completion of the task. This allows us to use the WHOOP technique as a very valuable tool that helps us to enjoy or complete this process and enjoy the experience. So again, it's about taking an intention, going through a task all the way to the point of completion, and the WHOOP technique is very effective in helping us to get this task out the door. Another very important aspect of entering a flow state is to design our work environment. This is crucial for achieving the flow state because it helps us minimize distractions and creates conditions that help get us into deeper focus and stay engaged in the tasks that we're involved in. So taking time to design our work environment will help us to do several things. First, it will help us to minimize distractions. So by removing clutter and distractions that are on our workspace, we're able to reduce visual distractions that help us to basically focus better and not get, again, distracted. We can also reduce noise levels, and this allows us to have a quiet work environment, or at least one that has a controlled background noise that also allows us to help maintain our concentration. We can also focus on optimizing our comfort, basically by ensuring that we're comfortable, we have good seating, we have good desk height, and so forth, can prevent any physical discomfort, again, allowing us to stay focused on the task longer. Also, we can have good lighting, and this reduces our eye strain and keeps us alert and basically enjoying the environment that we're operating in. We also need access to tools and resources. So by organizing all necessary tools and materials so that they're within reach, we can save time and again, be able to stay focused on the task that we're working on in that flow state. And having reliable and efficient technology ready to go will also prevent interruptions in order to maintain our rhythm and our workflow. So we can also create a positive atmosphere, and basically having visually pleasing an environment helps us to stay inspired and can help us to have a boosted mood and stay basically extremely motivated while we're working. Also setting clear boundaries by having specific work area that we're going to be focusing on helps us to signal to our brain that it's time to focus, and where we're at is a work area that we're going to be focusing in. Time management is also important, as setting time boundaries for when we're going to be working and when we're going to be taking breaks can also help us to maintain a good working rhythm that allows us to stay in that flow state. And then finally, we need to basically encourage our focus. We can design our environment for one task at a time, and this allows us to dive a little bit deeper into that task without getting, again, distracted on other tasks or interruptions. We can also use flow triggers. We can incorporate flow triggers such as inspirational quotes or plants or anything that's calming, such as like maybe aromatherapy or scents that allows us to help trigger that flow state more quickly or more easily. So a carefully designed work environment helps us to create a supportive backdrop that makes it easier for us to enter and stay in that flow state. So as we wrap up today's lesson, there's several takeaways we want to consider on how do we get into that flow state, operate in that flow state more frequently. So first, remember that your flow state or operating in a flow state is going to require a lot of passion and clarity toward the task that you're engaging in. Next, we must identify and grow, cultivate, and operate in our strengths. So in order to get to that flow state, we're going to have to operate at our very best. So in order to do that, we're going to need to know what our strengths are and make sure that our strengths are continually being cultivated and grown. And then third, lastly, we need to have a work environment that is very conducive to the flow state, and we need to plan that approach on the task that we're going to be engaging in to make sure that we can take that task from the wish state all the way to the state of completion or out the door. So for this week's action items, we need to relook at that purpose statement and make sure that it clearly reflects our passions and our skill strengths. So take a look at that. Make sure if there's any adjustments, make sure that you do that so that that purpose statement is very clear and very motivational to you. And then secondly, prepare your workspace. Make sure that it's ready for good task engagement, that it's very conducive to a flow state. And then go ahead and apply the WHOOP technique to a particular critical task that you're wanting to finish. Try out the WHOOP technique, see how well it works, get some practice in it, refine it, get used to it, and let's see if we can have some really good effective flow state work with something that we're trying to accomplish. It takes practice. And again, this is something that we can't get into every time. We can't always get into a flow state, but we want to get closer and do achieve the flow state more frequently. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope it was very valuable. And remember, you are designing your future one habit at a time.